What's something people don't know about podcast disclaimers? They're the ultimate cover our butts move. All right, folks, let's get real. You know those disclaimers at the start of podcasts? The ones that say these opinions are our own and not our employers, friends, or anyone who might sue us. Yeah, those. Why do we need them? Because Stacey and Casey here, well, we might say something bonkers. And we don't want you blaming our bosses, our moms, or that guy who bagged our groceries last week. Nope, it's all on us, people. Think of it like this. We're just two dudes with microphones and way too much free time. And while we're at it, let's be clear. Our jokes, rants, and random thoughts, purely our own genius or nonsense. Depends on the day, so sit back, relax, and remember, if you're offended, it's definitely not because of our employers. It's all Stacey and Casey, baby. Covering our butts, one disclaimer at a time.
The better package, you can't fucking... Dude, I'm just saying, quit blowing your money on fucking rims and shit and get a better internet.
The rims were a one-time thing.
I'm just kidding. We don't
Hey, man,
hey, I'm not gonna.
We don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Fucking connection is the connection at this
Hopefully
point.
it's better now.
So, yeah, I hope so. What we were going over, honestly, was the tuberculosis outbreak in Kansas. And we were talking about why would this be relevant? Now, there's another guy that made a video that is kind of interesting, but before we get into it, I want to talk about the conspiracy we came up with. They were trying to stop the spread of tuberculosis from getting to Russia. Russia said this is how they're trying to go biological warfare. We're taking them out.
Hey, we've been told that there's gonna be some surprise like outbreak and everything by Fauci and all this shit. And all of a sudden there's a TB outbreak in Kansas, bacterial infections, all this shit going around.
Ducks dying from bird flu.
Ducks dying, bird flu, setting shit on fire. All of a sudden a bunch of Russians go down.
January, guys. It's fucking January.
Dude,
it's a month into the year.
Yeah.
It is.
Can we tell a joke? Can we tell a joke or something?
Hey, yeah, I got one for you. I've been wanting to show you this reaction video, and
okay,
reaction
video.
I want you to see. First, I'm going to play it, and I want you to watch it.
This is my first time watching this. He mentioned this earlier. What do we got?
So you really telling me
I'm ready.
I'm too busy to get in your car?
Deja Blandings recorded it all. Her Lyft driver pulling up only to turn her down.
I was too big, and so you really telling me I'm too busy to get in your car?
Deja Blandings recorded it all. Her Lyft driver pulling up only to turn her down.
I was too big, and his tires, something about his tires. I asked him, what do I have to do with your tires?
This happened January 18th. The 29-year-old Detroiter was headed to a Lions watch party, only she never got there.
So you telling me I can't get in the Lyft because I can't fit in your car?
Yeah, you need to order a bigger car.
What make you think I can't fit in the car?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The driver told her she needed to request an XL car.
I was embarrassed, and I feel some type of way about it, you know.
She's hired a lawyer and is suing Lyft.
Well, from a legal standpoint, it seems like obvious discrimination. The Elliott Larson Act, which is Michigan's Civil Rights Act, specifically protects people from weight discrimination. And the driver here turned down her ride because of her weight.
Deja says this experience has scarred her.
I haven't really left my house since that.
She hopes this lawsuit will change how people treat others of all
never
sizes.
left her house.
Didn't have to pay for extra for a Uber XL.
While Lyft does not comment on pending litigation, they did send us this statement saying, quote, Lyft unequivocally condemns all forms of discrimination.
Oh, jeez. I guarantee you it wouldn't be her first time paying for an XL size.
Hey, no. But I got a better one. This is my favorite part, right? Like, she goes on scene and she does all this shit, and then this.
Oh my God.
The car on lean and she talking that she can't fit in the trunk. Oh my God. XL, she needed a double XL lift in this moment. She needed a lift to go on.
Her thigh's got a camel toe.
Yeah.
Her ankle's got a thigh.
She got 4 layers to that motherfucker.
I'm getting cankles as I'm watching.
Oh my god!
Oh
The
my
gold,
god!
the fucking gold there, like
Oh jeez.
the comedy, the fucking. What's your opinion? I just got to know, and I wish I could have got his fucking face on camera. His jaw
Oh my
dropped.
god! It's just like everything from her saying "I feel some kind" made me feel some kind of way. People who say that, their vocabulary is very limited and they can't explain their feelings. My wife tried to use that twice on me, and now every time she starts to say it, she elaborates on how she's feeling. She doesn't say, I felt some kind of way. Elaborate. Was it happy? Was it sad? There's got to be a reason for you feeling that way. That's one. And why in the fuck would you wear half a trash bag talking about you don't feel comfortable and you feel embarrassed, but you go on live TV looking like that? And I don't care if you're saying, Casey, you're being an asshole, you're fat shaming. I am.
I just
and
want to
don't give a
say,
fuck.
remember that bitch when
I
you
don't
tell
give a
me
fuck.
I'm fat. Okay? Because, like, that to me is fat. Like, I'm fat, but that's fat. Okay? Like, I'm still solid. I'm still muscle. She could barely walk. She couldn't even finish the song. Doug, like, when I say the gold in that is like her legs gave out and she just went backwards. Like, there was no more strength in them bitches. They were done. And like, it's a big person. When you fall, right? Like, you hope you get the roll, because if you fall flat, it hurts, right?
That's a lot of poundage just going is so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, she got lucky, because if that motherfucker would have splatted, Doug, like, that stage man gave way. That's a lot of pressure.
She
man.
was so big, she wasn't just round. She was round, circular. So she fell backwards. She just started rolling. Oh my gosh! And the fact that he turned her down. And I'm gonna give it to the Lyft driver. He sounded like he was being
Very
calm.
professional.
He obviously had a small car, and that reminded me of when I took a test drive once in a small Veloster. The salesman who went for the ride with me was literally that size, white dude. He went around to get in the passenger seat, and I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, I'm going with you." I was like, "I can't go on a test drive by myself." He's like, "Oh, it's policy. We got to go with." He got in the car and he was just. And I looked at him. I was like, "We can go." I was like, "Put your seatbelt on." The guy was like, "Are you serious?"
Like,
I said,
want to drive?
"Fuck yeah!" I wanted to test drive in a car. I'm thinking about, oh, dude,
Casey and these seatbelts,
Dude.
bro. Like, it's so serious to him that I know you made him put it on.
dude, seatbelts to me. And if you're like one of those people, "Oh, I know somebody who died at a blah 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 with their seatbelt on," that's one fucking occasion. You're more likely to die without a seatbelt in the car accident than having one. And if you want to fight me on it, you're not riding with me. So go fuck
Dale
yourself.
Earnhardt had a seatbelt on when he died.
Dale Earnhardt was driving around a fucking racetrack, bro. Putting himself in harm's way. We know this.
Hey, but I want to go back to this tuberculosis outbreak now that we got a little bit of humor in. But I really think that this is an agenda, man. Like, we stumbled upon this coming up to the show. We had no idea about the tuberculosis outbreak, right?
Hey, we got two conspiracies. One here, fresh on the Casey and Stacey show. Stacey and Casey show. You can say it both ways. Name's so nice. You say it twice. What motherfucker? Anyway, our conspiracy is they've been planning an outbreak for a while. Everybody's getting TB in Kansas. We got a plane of Russians getting shot down. Oh, I'm sorry, not shot down. Taken down by a Black Hawk fucking helicopter. I think if you're flying a Black Hawk helicopter, you know your shit.
You're the best of the best.
You're flying a Black Hawk helicopter. This isn't like some dude giving a tour in a fucking volcano. This is military high-tech shit, maneuverability. You see a plane coming, you don't get in fucking front of it. Ugh! Do you not see how stupid this looks?
I'm with you. There's something to me that screams hidden agenda that the tuberculosis outbreak broke yesterday, nationwide news. That night, there's something else to cover the nationwide news, right? What better way to do it than this? And I read a few comments today that really were eye-opening when you think about it. First, I want to say, why were you in the area? Shout out Casa. Second, when Trump said that, why were you in the area? Right? Like, that's his whole question on this. Second, was it a manned aircraft? With all the drone technology now,
They said there's 3 people
they say
not
that.
recovered.
They say that. There's a lot more than 3, I think, not recovered, but I'm saying that they named the passengers, but we don't know that. That's what they're telling us, right? My other thing I noticed is, where is the helicopter in the wreckage.
Yeah.
Now, I want to say
let's
this
talk about that.
from a person's point of view, right? Maybe it sank faster because it's a hollow cabin. I was talking about this today at work. The science behind it, it hits the water, it fills in quicker, it drops quicker.
Yeah.
But I think you have better odds at jumping the fuck out of the helicopter as it goes down quicker than ever. You know what I mean? Like, I think I would try to get the fuck out of there. I'm going down over a river. I'm going to try to jump.
I'm putting myself in a situation where a plane just hit my helicopter. I don't think I can unbuckle.
No.
Jump
Helicopter hit the plane. Plane. How the fuck a plane hit a helicopter, bro? There's no way. They go straight and they bank. Helicopters go. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
I have no argument for this. So this is the way I'm looking at it in offense of the plane. Okay, what if the plane was at the culprit? The plane was going to the runway. It's not maneuvering, trying to hit a helicopter.
It's coming down.
Now you're getting a Black Hawk helicopter that's all about maneuverability.
That motherfucker smacked it.
It's a no-brainer.
If we watch that video again, it looks like it goes straight into the side of it like 9/11 style. And I, like you said, your wife, so 3 dudes were doing a suicide mission. Interesting. Why would you put 3? Why were they military personnel? Why was there not somebody of importance on a Black Hawk getting brought into fucking Ronald Reagan? There has to be somebody of importance there to be landing.
The military said they had some experience, or they had pretty good experience. I forget the word they used, but it wasn't like they were seasoned veterans. It was they were fairly experienced.
Well, Trump brought up and blamed DEI immediately, right? I wonder, is it a terrorist attack?
Yeah, what was that?
I think they could have jumped, Paula. Like, I'm sorry, your wife commented, so you think they jumped? I think realistically, if you're trained military personnel in a Black Hawk, we lock on target, which we're going to show you a video of this. We're going in. We know now that we can lock on that item. We're going in for it. Why wouldn't we jump out before impact? We're trained professionals at jumping out of fucking shit all the time. We jump out of shit all the time. You have ejectocito in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, click, boom, me gone.
Well, not in a helicopter. You eject out of there. And you're
I don't know about how Black Hawks.
It's like a blender where all the food's on there.
True, but if you jump out and down in enough time, I mean, they're professionals. They do this shit all the time. Yeah. So it's one of those things. I don't know. I will say the video that we were talking about, and I say the DEI or the terrorist attack, because this is the agenda that people are trying to push right now. Okay.
In big breaking news, the FAA is now saying that the helicopter and plane collided because there weren't enough air traffic controllers. Reportedly, Reagan National was operating with 1 controller who had to manage all air traffic in the area. And notably, that tower typically has at least 2 controllers for the level of traffic the area was under at the time. And so the controller who was handling helicopters was also handling landings and departures of planes. With us seeing people know that this comes after Trump froze the hiring of air traffic controllers and offered them buyouts to leave their jobs earlier this week. He also reportedly fired hundreds of critical staff and allowed Elon to seemingly push the head of the FAA out. And this is just this past summer, the FAA released a report that it needed 3,000 more air traffic controllers nationally. Though this, as you had Trump this morning just repeating DEI, DEI, DEI.
The FAA is actively recruiting workers who suffer severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric problems, and other mental and physical conditions under a diversity and inclusion hiring initiative.
And it appears Trump's just now doubling down on that with him signing a presidential memorandum ordering competence over DEI. Also, when asked if he planned to visit the crash site, which is down the street from him, he said, "What's the site? The water? You want me to go swimming?" But that is where we are right now, so subscribe to stay in the loop.
Interesting. Pushing an agenda. Oh,
I really feel like they're pushing an agenda.
The hiring, as if like the air traffic controllers would have been trained in time.
So I want to say first and foremost, that was the first thing we said. I said was, even with this being done a week ago, there's no way they would have had FAA regulated flight patterns on Ronald Reagan Airport that with new hires. You wouldn't be here training, okay? And if you were, that's a great cover up. I do want to say, Paula, with a remote helicopter, this is one I really believe. You can make a drone out of anything when you're the military, right? Now, the other part of this is them pushing this DEI agenda. Now, I could say, how do we know what they look like? I mean, you hear the playback. You can pretty much guess who is reporting, crash, crash, crash. But I think this is a port where you get into, you hire competence, you hire the best. If you're in one of the most heavily patrolled airspaces in the world, you're working a tower They're never going to put one person up there because of emergency. You don't even open a Sprint, whatever cell phone stores are now, with one person because you need 2 people there for security purposes. So you're not going to sell me that there was one person there.
Yeah.
That's not going to be sold. This place probably has 4 or 5 on staff.
No, they had one.
Fuck that. That's what they're saying. There's no way.
One person working.
When you hear the playbacks of the videos, they've spoken to 2 different people at that tower. You got one saying crash, 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 that no racism involved. I'm the color. You can tell if they're of urban descent, right? Then you have another person that's saying coordinates that you can tell is of an alternate ethnicity. We don't know what. But you can tell from that alone, there's multiple people in the towers. Someone somewhere with a remote control and controlling the helicopter. And I 100% believe that because there's no lights on that motherfucker, which we just showed. And why couldn't I drone it in? There are drones everywhere. Yeah. We have a whole military sector dedicated to flying drones. If you don't think that they've got drone helicopters, you're crazy.
You got competitions on TV where you build remote control shit. You just
Literally.
drive it around places. That's on TV.
Have you ever seen the hobbyists?
Exactly.
Get online and look at a YouTube hobbyist remote control helicopter. Some of these motherfuckers, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And these people, they fly them like real life helicopters. They got remotes strapped to their chest. They do serious shit.
And they're not super easy to fly. I told you I bought a drone once, and it was during my drinking days. I didn't want to wait for still weather. I flew it off the back of my 3rd floor of my apartment. It got out of sight, and then I just started pushing the buttons around, thinking I could fly. I was like, listen for it. Dude, that thing I think ended up on the roof or something. I never found it. It was like the second day I had it.
That's crazy. So this is the other video we were going to talk about.
Let's watch this other.
You expect me to believe that a Black Hawk helicopter collided with an American Airlines flight in DC's most modern and secure airspace. An American Eagle flight that was en route from Wichita, Kansas. Does anybody know about what's happening in Kansas right now? You know, a major Chiburka, you know what outbreak? Putting that aside, I just so happened to track the helicopter's path as well before you were unable to all of a sudden. And boy, did I discover a lot of very interesting information, but we'll get to that here in a second. Do you know how many Russians alone were on that flight? And do keep in mind, no one is believed to actually have survived that mid-air collision. But I really shouldn't have to say much more considering they were Russian personnel. Now let's do keep in mind, okay, there has been reported to be 3 U.S. military personnel that were on board that helicopter. No names have been released as of yet, but this is the really interesting part. When you were able to track the helicopter's flight path, it just so happened to originate from a very specific address. Now, I'm not necessarily sure that I can name out an address on TikTok without receiving a violation, so I'm going to be putting it in the comment section below. But the current owners are the Embassy of Saudi Arabia. And when I noticed that, my instant reaction was, what? What is a Black Hawk helicopter doing taking off from that location? And does anybody remember the Las Vegas incident? Because if you don't, and you haven't gone down that rabbit hole already, I highly suggest that you do. Or you can watch one very specific video from an individual named Ian Carroll on X. You probably already know who he is. His name is Cancel This Clothing Company on TikTok. Because he actually did a full rundown on everything that you need to know about it. And if you watch that video, then you obviously know why I'm mentioning that incident. But there are numerous Saudi Arabian diplomats and scholars residing at that address. And like I stated, I'm going to be putting it in the comment section below so you can actually go check that out for yourself.
Dude, conspiracy theories, dude. I'm telling you, there's too many connections and too many people that look into shit these days.
Too many coincidences.
It's this isn't like the old days where it's like CIA does some shit or some shit goes down and like there's no trail. There's trails everywhere that you can't hide. And dude, and I don't know, it's just too much smoke here, and makes you wonder. Oh, what else are they hiding?
Man, I think what is staged? Like I said, I haven't seen a helicopter yet. We see the plane,
other than the plane colliding, but that one
man,
kid
when you got
that,
I was just gonna say them kids saying them flares,
it was
man.
like a shooting star. We didn't think nothing of it.
Man, when you hear that, what's the first thing you think of?
A flare, like a firework.
Wouldn't say that, yeah, or a laser strike.
A laser strike.
Even if it's saying it was a flare, that means if they thought it was a flare, then they say shooting star. They don't know if it came from the ground or if it came from the sky.
And everybody's seen a shooting star. Picture it. It looks like a friggin' rocket.
Missile.
It looks like a rocket or a missile.
And then when we look at that video, you can blatantly see it's hard as hell to see that black helicopter. And I'm tempted to play it again so people can see it. Do you want me to?
Yeah, play one more time. Watch the explosion, everybody.
Yeah, and again, this is a news source.
For the National Transportation Safety Board now leading the crash investigation, officials are focused on recovering the wreckage and the bodies of those who perished.
Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes joins us live from the newsroom with the very latest. Rob.
Yes, so far at least 28 bodies have been pulled from the waters of the Potomac. Investigators say there are no survivors after that Army helicopter collided with an American Airlines regional jet. That plane originated in Wichita, Kansas. It was carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew members. The Black Hawk helicopter had 3 crew members on board.
Man, what's up with our internet?
I feel like it's because we're onto something.
Man, they're taking us down.
The collision captured by a live streaming camera. That sound was from air traffic controllers. Another angle shot by someone at the airport shows the plane and helicopter hitting and exploding into a bright fireball. Now, here's a map showing
this is crazy.
Man, maybe they're locking up our back feet or something.
Man, I don't know what the hell is going on. We're doing it again. I'm playing it again. Give it a run.
For the National Transportation Safety Board now leading the crash investigation, officials are focused on recovering the wreckage and the bodies of those who perished.
Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes joins us live from the newsroom with the very latest. Rob.
Yes, so far at least
maybe because they're playing ABC Channel 7.
No, we're shouting out ABC.
No survivors after that Army helicopter collided with an American Airlines
played just fine earlier.
jet. That plane
Played just fine the first
originated in
time.
Wichita, Kansas. It was carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew members. The Black Hawk helicopter had 3 crew members on board, a total of 67 lives lost.
This is alert 3.
The collision captured by a live streaming camera. That sound was from air traffic controllers.
So it's the second clip right here. Watch it.
Someone at the airport shows
very faint lighting.
Hitting and exploding.
And it does look like it's pulsing.
Now, here's a map showing the flight paths of the 2 aircraft. It happened around 8:45 last night.
So again, when we say, hey, it's hard as hell to see that helicopter, it's literally blink, blink, blink connection. Maybe they didn't see it, but that helicopter saw the plane, because in another video, which we didn't put on here, thank God, all the connection issues, was them saying we missed the plane, them going around. That was the other video of them are in the beginning. This one, the flight pattern.
Yeah, we don't need to show that. One.
No, I'm not going to.
Yeah, you saw. If you want to see it, go back to the beginning video.
Yeah, it's no problem. The other part that we were talking about, and I also feel like it's trying to get swept under the rug. For those of you who can't see it, Phoenix, Arizona, beware. Progressive Insurance is canceling insurance policies in the area due to high wildfire risks.
Can you say California 2.0?
Yeah. They also, can you also say that they've been wanting to make a smart city there since 2020?
So they've been wanting to make a smart city there since 2020.
Sounds like Lahaina.
Just like Lahaina got demolished first. California second.
Brazil.
And California had perfect timing where they had no choice but to build it really fast for the Olympics. Oh, gosh.
How coincidental.
And now they're canceling insurance for fires
in
Arizona.
So we're getting that alert out there, and we're going to play it again one more time because, again, they want us to advertise, but we need to let people know, hey, get ready.
Hey, public service announcement
Smart
for the
City in Arizona.
Casey Casey show.
This area is close to where Bill Gates bought 30,000 acres of land.
Bill Gates bought 30,000 acres of land there.
You know what's also coincidental?
What is that?
There's lettuce farms there with cow farms that are separated by water, and that's why we get all these E. coli breakouts. Like, nobody wants to talk about that, but you can watch the documentary on Netflix.
Yeah, but just too many connecting dots there. You know, with people buying the property, the insurance canceling stuff, the talk of a new city.
It's the exact same play out of 3 other cities.
Dude, it's like when the aliens off this like the different versions of humans, they just used water. We're using fire just to kill out different cities and shit that we want to rebuild.
And this is where you go back to the beginning. The name of the show today, we touch base. Logic gets you far. Common sense gets you further.
I thought
at this point we're connecting dots.
I thought you were going to say helicopters and fat bitches.
That is the name of the show.
That's the name of the show. But no, like you said, logic gets you far, and common sense gets you further.
And we're at a point in time you have to use common sense.
Common sense, and that to me, when I hear
like
common
fire.
sense, I think fundamentals.
Looks like smoke.
If you have experience with fire and smoke,
it's just water.
You can smell it.
It's just water.
fire.
You may see fire, but it is water.
Don't look up. Go watch that movie. Don't Look Up. I like that movie.
It's just water. You think you're seeing one thing. I promise you, you're not.
You're not. No, you didn't see that. It didn't happen. Hey,
California
look,
didn't burn. They had an unlimited source of water. Lahaina, right next to water, didn't burn. You know, I mean, man. The other one that's crazy is the Miami Mall incident.
They get to North Carolina and they say, "Oh, we're gonna flood them."
Yeah,
but
which is what's crazy.
Up in the mountains, though, doesn't make sense.
Talk about crazy.
We're gonna do
a hurricane goes into the mountains.
Yeah, hurricane.
That's got to be a once in a lifetime event,
right? Connecting dots, like we said. So,
Maui, California, now Arizona. Now, what city was that?
I think they're like burning out all the places to live. I think I grew up in California. I was stationed in Hawaii, and now I'm in Missouri. Fuck, we gotta run. All right, run if you're near Casey Falkengren. They're torching bitches.
Torching.
Nah, but as far as like conspiracies and stuff, that's what I think. This whole TV thing in Kansas is going to turn into a nationwide thing. They're trying to suppress it as long as they can to make it.
To answer her question really quick, because she asked what city, it says in Arizona.
Oh, in Arizona.
It doesn't even give you, like, I'm looking at Google right now. I'm looking at the news, and they're literally saying Arizona. So, I mean, are they about to burn the whole fucking state? Well, that was a good question, but when you pull it up online, it says homeowners insurance in Arizona. Now, the increase in the number of claims and severity of losses. So they're saying that there's already fires breaking out, and it's been going. Hey, no worries, Nick. At least you came to join us. But
Bill Gates makes $80 million land deal in Far West Valley. One of the richest men in the world about to make a big impression on Arizona.
So for those of you who know it, say it again. What city?
Far West Valley.
Pay attention if you live anywhere close to that area.
24,000 acres outside of Buckeye, Arizona.
Buckeye, Arizona.
Buckeye, Arizona.
You heard it here first.
Additional 28 acres in Buckeye. Wow. So it says an update on Bill Gates' new smart city in Arizona. It's called Bill Gates' New Smart City is the name of this title here on www.globest.com. So
Sedona, big money loves Sedona.
Belmont will create.
No, we appreciate you for your support.
Hey, and I didn't say it yet, but she's been commenting. Hi, Paula, it's your husband. Look at me, I'm on TV. I love you. So that way, if I die one day, she can look back at this and cry.
Wow, that's fucked up. hey, that is narcissism 101.
And right now, she's crying harder, but laughing a little bit. She's glancing over, thinking about it. Never mind. No, I love you to death, babe. See you soon. Come with that egg sandwich. And dude, speaking of eggs, dude, what's up with all these duck farms and fucking ostrich
You
farms?
were talking about that earlier, and I was thinking about this when we get into it. We had the farmers killing off chickens not too long ago. We had the chicken farms burn up.
Love you more.
Right? Like we've had so much going on as far as chickens, the poultry industry.
Everybody's noticed the eggs going up in cost. I know
they're
this.
saying it's going up again.
I know this because I sell eggs. Me and Paula, we have a really healthy, great chicken farm. And
$10 dozens now, they're saying.
Yeah, and I'm selling mine for $5. I'm giving them away. I need to start charging more.
Casey never brings me eggs, though. No one I need them never brings them. Just saying.
Shut up, dude. You know you can come over and get eggs whenever you want.
Hey, that's the longest grocery run I'll ever make in my life.
If I see where I live out in the country, if I like look out the window with my flashlight in the distance, I see a black dude inside my chicken coop stealing eggs. I'm like, that's gotta be Stacy. Who the fuck else?
Who else would have the balls to go in there? Like,
yeah. There's no other black guys in this city.
In this city?
That knows where I live.
That knows where I live. That's so fucked up.
No.
Oh, that sounds so terrible.
But anyways, our screen started fucking up earlier when you're showing that video. That girl got denied that lift, that Uber, because she was overweight.
Let's watch it again. If you missed it, I can't get
this is getting off the conspiracy stuff. This is funny though. This is we need to get away from this. Like,
and I just want to say, like, when you look at it, because the serious shit is too real, and like I think we need to pay attention. World War III's coming. Damn, did I think I deleted them after we watched them. That's crazy.
Well, anyways.
Basically, it was timber.
Long story short, eat healthy.
No, long story short is do bad to yourself and then bitch at others for it.
Yeah, and then
that's what this world is
wrap.
come to.
It's the back in the trunk of your best friend's car.
I just, man, look, for her to say she didn't need a lift in the whole back of the car, like, I'm a big dude, okay? 6'5", 350, 370 on a bad day, probably 370 today. I climb in the back of my Durango. That motherfucker don't go, okay? She should be on 600-pound life having this argument, okay? Like, the fuck are you mad at? If I pulled up in my Durango and that motherfucker went to get in my car, I would be like, what the fuck are you doing? Bitch, you gonna fuck my shocks up. Get the fuck out of my car. Like, I'd probably pull off. And really, I'd be like, this can't be real. Like, real shit.
I would look at my phone. I'd give her the address on where I was going to take her in case she didn't know where it was, and then she could start walking there because she needs it. If this was a dude, I'd say he needs it. If this was me, I would say I need it.
If it was them, they need it.
They need it.
Like, whatever you want to go
whatever
by.
you want to go by.
But Trump said you're a man or a woman, and we standing on it now. So,
and I give that a lot of thought whenever we say that there's men and women, and I don't want to be closed-minded. I do realize there's feminine women, masculine men. There's a whole variation of people in between. But when you're talking about language, you're talking about law, you're talking about rules, there has to be two. Because there's always going to be people that take advantage of the
from
rules.
the beginning of time.
So this is just a common law. There's the way you speak, the way you.
Science.
Come on, I can't change science.
Fucking thousands of years.
And you know what? It's not coming up as much anymore, so I don't even like talking about it. Kind of like racism. The more you talk about it, the more it gets brought
I
to
saw a
light.
pretty funny video today, though, of a transgender getting their passport. and
I saw a funny one too. Like, go ahead.
It was like, he goes, this is what Trump's doing to us. Mark me as a man on my passport. I fell out when I looked at it. I ain't even gonna lie. I told her, I said, that's fucking crazy. They need to go. Because, like, this is the closest to a woman I've seen look. Like, when they said, I came back as a man, my jaw dropped. The fuck? Like, you got to go. They need to lock your ass up. Like, that is a crime.
Dude, I wish we would have prepped some of the videos. I saw people like, what you got to do when ICE comes into town or ICE is in your neighborhood. And it shows people like hiding in the weirdest places and shit. And then it shows some legit guys like on a construction site saying, talking shit about ICE and how he ain't going back to his country. And then it showed a video later, someone else taking a video of the same dude getting taken away by ICE.
My favorite part of that,
saying fuck you, Trump, and everything.
That I think if you want to see where the death of America came at, there's construction workers, like you were talking about, taking videos of construction sites in California, Florida, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona. Nobody on the work sites. And they're like, they're hiding from it. Then like some people are like, oh, they're hiding. I'm like, no, that's how many people were paying people under the table rather than taking care of their country.
Exactly.
They wanted to avoid taxes.
Jobs.
No, they wanted to avoid taxes. They wanted to undercut them. Yep. Your construction worker makes $38 an hour. We're going to give them $15 cash, no tax. They're not going to bitch. We ain't got to worry. Now, one of my favorite ones was a real estate agent saying, look how long it's going to take to build houses. No, this is what's going to make fucking America great again. And we're going to bring back the working class, the blue collar worker, construction, electricians, all these people that built America are now going to get their job back. And them houses you want to overcharge us for and make a fortune on, now you're going to really pay the worth of it. And hopefully the fucking value of these houses holds, because I'm looking at the new houses put together half shit because everybody wants to race to get the job done, right? Now you're going to have to hire union workers again. People that are backed. You're going to have to do a quality job. And you're mad that Trump is making you do a quality job with American workers. One of my favorite stats I've seen this week was talking about spending habits, right? White people spend an average of, it was like 44 cents on the dollar that they make in the society. Black people was like 78 cents to 82 cents. Hispanics, 22 cents to the dollar. Asians, 27 cents. Because they're sending their money back overseas. And when you think about this, that's fucking up our economy. You're paying these people under the table. The money never sees the taxes. The money never sees the economy.
They send it home because the dollar goes so much
That's
further
what I'm
with their
saying.
own.
And then they all live together. And then bam.
Let me just speak from personal experience. When I was with the sequel, wife number 2, We were living at an apartment over off of Baldwin. It was Seven Trails Apartments. Some people probably know this place. It was pretty popular. It was across the street from what was it? The Quarter.
Dorsal?
No, I was right across from. Oh man, there's so many fights at this bar. It doesn't matter. But it was Seven Trails over off of Manchester, and there's these Mexicans, and we just called them the Mexicans. They're in the building over, third floor, and there's like 12 or 13 of them that all live together. And at nighttime, I'd get drunk and I'd be fucking make our rounds and walk around. They'd be up there fucking playing their Hispanic music and drinking their fucking tequilas and beer, and they were the nicest fucking people. I'm not talking any shit on them. They taught me how to like make the salsa and pull these seeds out of shit, and they were great cooks and nice people. They're showing us how to dance their Hispanic dances, and they were trying to do our dances and shit. And it was fucking fun. They were fun people, but they told us that they come up here seasonally. They work in restaurants. They send their money back home, and then they go back home. And it was just something they did every fucking year.
And that's money out of our economy.
That's money out of our economy. I saw a video earlier. Some lady was like, "What does she do wrong?" It showed some ICE group fucking arresting this lady out of her car.
What's the matter?
Taking her away legally. She was on her way to work. They were looking for somebody else. They asked what part of Mexico she was out of, and it came to light that she was also illegal, but she was been there for a while. She had a job. She was, a nice member of society, and they're trying to dress it up like, what did she do? What did she do? Let me flip the script. If I sneak into another country, nobody noticed, and I set up camp, fold out my rug, I set up my couch, I start working at the thing down the street, I made it. Does that getting past the system? Is that an okay thing now? They're like, oh, you got us. But you're working now.
Like this. If we're in any other country,
we're getting
Americans. We don't have a work visa. We don't have that shit proper. You're going home. Better yet, you would have never made it there.
No,
because you don't got a passport.
They're
right?
strict. Now we're strict, and now people don't like it.
I like this best because when you're looking at Tom Holden, you're looking at the new
Tom Holden, border czar.
I can't remember the new Speaker of the House's name. Youngest woman in history to do it. Youngest person, I think, in history.
That little blonde tart.
Dude, she's gorgeous. But I will say this.
I thought the last one was pretty
favorite one they said
the pure chick
was they were like, well, all the people you're deporting, you said we're going to be here illegally. What did they do that were criminals? She said they're here illegally.
They're here illegally.
A federal crime. Like
the whole part of the question has the answer.
And that's my favorite part is like, what common logic gets you far. Common sense gets you further. Mm-hmm. The common sense here is you're literally saying they're illegal while saying what they do wrong. They didn't follow the policy and procedure. You work at a company, no matter what company you work at. If you don't follow the policy and procedure, will you be at that company long? Or your ass getting fired? It's the same concept. It's the same exact concept. We're a business, right? You didn't follow the contract to get here. It's unfortunate. Some of us were blessed to be born here. It is what it is. And it's not even unfortunate. It's a blessing to be born here.
Dude, the people are getting rid of,
we give you a way to get here. And that's the whole point here, is do it right or don't do it. And to sit here and be upset, to be whatever, you know what I mean? Help them. My favorite video was Selena Gomez crying and somebody popping in the comments and said, you're almost a billionaire. Start a charity to help them.
Yeah, who was that? That was Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, common sense. You want to bitch? You want to complain? You got the money to help.
Help my people.
And then you want to delete the video because you sound stupid?
You look stupid.
Like, and shout out Nona. Again, I've traveled the world, no passport. You don't make it in, period. My mom got sent to another country to train people taking her job. India, to be specific. She was coming back through Germany, bought fucking chocolate in Germany for me because I love Toblerone. Okay, so she's buying these big ones they got. They stopped her in security. And literally opened the bar. She was like, they're open. They didn't open the foil to check that this is legit. Our shit is laxed. America is chill. You go overseas, you're going through shit. They're taking lighters that you left America with.
Mm-hmm.
They're taking that shit at your stop. They're taking shit that does not belong on the fly list. They're taking anything that looks like it could be contraband. They're checking it. America is the only country, and it's still hard to get in when you get out. But to leave our country, they let you leave with shit you'd be surprised with. And people have done studies on this getting through airport security. Like, it's crazy.
So the people that are getting rid of Trump at so far, it's like no surprise. He's getting rid of like gang members and shit from other countries.
Man, look,
and
my
Colombia
favorite
and all
part
that
is Tom Holden said collateral damage. We weren't coming for you. You were there. You were illegal. We're not leaving you. You're still on the list, just further down it. So you're collateral damage. Whereas another person said a bonus.
Dude, free up a little traffic.
Hey, Amy.
Kick them out.
Man, she was crying the children. A month before, she was screaming abortion up to 9 months for all, even men. No, my favorite part is she's the one who got caught into a conspiracy because she needed a kidney. Somebody goes to her family's hotel, disappears, and the next day she has a kidney. Crazy, that person that disappeared had the same kidney match as Selena Gomez. But nobody talks about that. I'm going to leave that rabbit hole for you guys to dive down. But that's real shit. Do your check on it. For her to be crying and sobbing while she's at these parties with the elites and supposedly is one of the adrenochrome users, I feel no remorse for it. I honestly don't feel any remorse for anybody in Hollywood because I was thinking about this shit the other day, right? You're a billionaire. And somebody said this to me at work today, which really fucked me up. To put a collection, like, for you to understand this, 1 million seconds is 11 days. 1 billion seconds is 31 years. Okay. So understand that when you're talking numbers, these people have so much money, they could literally change the world. Clean drinking water, housing. And you know what they say to the people? Fuck you.
No, why?
But I'm going to cry with you.
Why? Why? Why do they have this money? Why were they allowed to get this rich and famous, Stacey?
How the fuck? I want to know.
We've been talking about it on our show.
The skilling in that.
You cannot make it in Hollywood. It is, or the music industry, if you don't play the game, if you don't, do this fucking satanic shit and go do these rituals and do that. And once you're doing that, then you do what they say. They don't want you to be a good
I think
person.
they're all MK Ultra.
They don't want you to fix.
I'm going to say this.
You're all MK Ultra fucking.
I'm throwing this out there. They're MK Ultra CIA spies because they get freedom to travel to other countries to film these movies. And while they're there, they meet with oligarchs and dictators and their celebrities. And everybody wants to meet them. And they can gather intel and bring it back. Maybe even blackmail.
They're
you don't think they're, man, Hollywood is an extension of the CIA at this point. It's fucking mind control. It's fucking, we are a fucking country of lab rats and we're fucking idiots to not see it because there's every other country can survive. These people, you look at third world countries, they're still surviving, right? Like they can afford groceries. They can afford to do shit. In America right now, you can afford to go to work and you maybe get groceries if you got payments. If you're making a mortgage payment, car payment, any of that, man, look, I just say shout out to Trump getting rid of this motherfucking IRS. And it's not for the reason y'all think that I'm thinking there'll be more money in our pockets. 30 cents on the dollar for a consumer tax. This is something we didn't talk about. But 30 cents on a dollar, when you're losing 51 cents on a dollar now, I'll take that 21 cents back. If you're making $100,000 a year, you got a gang of money back.
And now we're going to talk a little deeper level because money aside, because when I start hearing money talk, some people are like, yeah, money, I want to buy this, money, I need money for this. And I understand there's bills and stuff you need money for, but the more I hear about money, the more it kind of pisses me off because in all this craziness in the world and all this money and us not having what we have, the fundamentals, put your part in and take your part out. If you're sitting around doing nothing and giving nothing back to community and you're just being a fat, lazy slob and
you're falling on stages.
Yeah, and you're lying or you're doing shit to get the money that you do have and you're just buying shit. You're not giving anything back and your morale is this big. When you have your epiphany one day and you're like, you know what, I do have to give back because one day I'm going to die and I'm going to realize that karma, I have not given anything back. Holy shit, I've been a prick my whole life. I've been a prick half my life. Luckily, we're on the podcast on my second half where I'm actually trying to make up for it. I am nothing but a lifelong of bad decisions that's trying to make it up with health and everything. When you get that crazy old person that's like, take care of yourself. Don't make sure you take care of your body. Don't overdo shit. Blah, blah, blah. That's because they're dying and they just fucking realize that all their bad decisions is added up to their piece of shit they're looking at in the mirror every day. I realized this about 4 or 5 years ago. And once you have that realization that one day you're going to fucking die and no one's going to remember you because there's going to be generations and generations and people way beyond us, and no one's going to fucking know us or give a shit about us. It's all about right fucking now.
You'll be in a graveyard. They're moving your body because they need to build an apartment complex.
And where you read about Joe Schmo that died in a fucking airplane on his way back from Kansas and everybody has tuberculosis, when you die, you're not thinking about that shit. When you die, you're thinking about your experiences.
I'll tell you, I watched my mom die. You know what she did at the end?
Laughed. She laughed.
My
and
mom,
I fucking love that.
When I say I felt, so many people were like, what the fuck am I? I felt so at peace because it wasn't a person crying. It wasn't a person begging for forgiveness. It wasn't a person, they know they fucked up their life. This was a person that was content, understood, communicated with those that needed communication, and she went at peace. Like, and I 100% believe in playbacks because she was saying memories that I had never heard of. You know what I mean? Like, about me, which was really throwing me off. You know what I mean? So I'm saying, if you live your life right, at the end, you shouldn't be scared. You should be happy.
Some people don't get the benefit of seeing the end coming, and they're going to die tomorrow on their way to work. And think about that for 2 seconds. Think about your kids. Think about your mom. Think about the person you see every day. Think about the person you wronged.
And you don't think about your kids when you act, you're selfish.
When you start seeing your inevitable despise, you know you're going to demise. You're going to die. Despise. When you demise, it's when you really start reflecting. I'm saying this firsthand, obviously. And when you start righting your wrongs, you start having that feeling inside, like, you know what? If I die tomorrow, I can say I fucking did it. I had that moment where it clicked. I can say I wasn't in the hustle and bustle. I died enjoying the moment, doing what I love, not worrying about, am I going to have enough money for my retirement in 20 years? Do I have this set up? Do I have this set up? Or you know what? I looked at the sunset tonight and I friggin' saw something that I'll never fucking see again, because each day is a blessing and it's unique. And if you're looking at the past or you're thinking about the future, you're not going to be there to appreciate it when it fucking happens, when these beautiful fucking things happen. So we talk about a lot of conspiracies and this and that and Trump and this and wake up people. But ultimately, none of it fucking matters. You're going to have emotions and then you're going to die. And that's just it. So take care of your fucking body, because the more emotions you have, the more you get experience. Would you say that's right? The more experience, it defines who you are. And these are my deep thoughts. So these are the things I think about and I wanted to express to you. And hopefully something clicked a little bit. Don't be an asshole. All right, Stacey, that's all I want to say. Thanks for letting me talk.
You're fine. I will say, to second that, in my mind, the goal is you set up the next generation to make their life a little easier than yours. So think about those around you. And again, I'm a golden rule guy. Treat others the way you want to be treated, but
put things where you found them. That's
another one.
That's my stepdad always says.
No, that's real shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think develop healthy patterns. We made it through the first month. You know what I mean? Like, and it's been a hell of a month, I'd say. January has been a monster. We got some shit going on. So I'm excited for chapter 2 of chapter 12. You know, out of a 12 chapter book. We're going to see what these first 12 have, but this second chapter I think is going to be great. I'm thinking February is going to be the month of love and war.
It's the shortest month, but it's the most impactful. Because
it's Black History, baby. The only month we get.
Fuck Black History Month.
This dude.
Fuck Black History Month. Fuck Jewish History Month, and fuck White History Month.
There's no White History Month. But
exactly. Do you want a
White
History Month?
No, I want there to be a month where people actually teach Black history, because you learn white history all year round.
How about American history? That's what we should get.
Okay, let's talk about it. Slavery. Let's talk about how America was
slavery.
built.
Should about white slaves or black slaves?
It doesn't matter. Slavery is slavery. Exactly. Why does it have to be based on color? Which is
slavery is normal.
If y'all can't see how defensive he just got when I brought this up, I've let him talk and he won't even allow me to finish. But it's cool. I'll just say, at the end of the day, if we're going to talk about history and we're going to choose a month to do it, let's teach real history. Let's teach what was really created by Black people, what was stolen. Let's talk about I don't think rap music was stolen. I think blues was stolen. But as far as I think it should be a point in time that, hey, shout out Amy, it's your birthday month.
It's your birthday.
We need to teach real history. And I think, you know, when you look at real history, we were talking about this earlier, and I think that America might be, and I want all of you to go down this rabbit hole. We're going to talk about it next week.
Very interesting, actually. Yeah.
Is that they're saying America might be the original Egypt. And if that's the case, I think a lot of history is going to be rewritten. And I think when you look at Black history and technology and development, it deserves a month because nobody ever talks about anything that has to do with Black culture, but they literally spend the whole time on the news fear-mongering white people to be afraid of Black people. And it's an agenda, and nobody wants to talk about it. So use this month to realize that Black guy might like archery. That Black guy might like comics. That Black guy might want to go deer hunt. There's things we have in common. We're fucking people. But this is the month you need to take a second and realize Black people contributed and pretty much built America. So if you don't want to give them a month, you're benefiting from all of it.
It's stupid to even think about giving Black people a month.
That's fine.
And that's not racist.
It is, though.
No, it's not. It's not.
Explain how it's not.
Because, like I said, do you also want a White History Month?
You have all year. That's not allowed.
Okay, so we're celebrating.
It's not a valid
How many
argument.
times did you hear people say we're celebrating White History this month?
You don't have to when there's President's Day. You got literally 4th of July.
What is
it? Juneteenth is
those aren't White History months. Those aren't White History months.
No, you have every
unlike
holiday.
Morgan Freeman, when Morgan Freeman said
he's not validating
he said,
your
you need a
argument.
Black History Month. He's like, I'm not Black. He's like, what are you? He's like, I'm Jewish. He's like, do you want a Jewish History Month? He's like, no. He's like, well, I don't want a Black History Month. That's
Jews run the world.
I agree with Morgan Freeman. It's
That's fine.
It's things like starting. Oh, we're gonna have a Black History
My
Month.
favorite
All right,
part of
everybody,
Casey
we're
is-
gonna like the Blacks this month and
My
and take
opinion
note
is
to all the stuff they
invalid.
invented.
Because and it should be shut down because he feels differently.
No, I don't think
It's
they shut down.
amazing.
And Stacey always talks his arguments to a crowd of people like, hold on one second, Casey. Now everybody
Because
take
we're
note what's
literally
going on here.
talking-
Casey does this and watch him as he
Because-
does this in the wild. All right, carry on.
We're talking to an audience, are we not?
I'm talking to you.
There's still slavery. Trafficking as kids and women are at an all-time high.
Which
They treated
we're
the Italians
taking
like shit
care of.
when we got here.
Oh,
They
is that
called us
somebody-
Dagos.
Hmm?
Would say we were greasy. Italians were considered Black. So for you to be Italian and not want to learn about Black history at a point in time in your history,
Nobody said not
you were
learning about
considered
Black history. You can learn about Black history without having a month
Just because
dedicated to
you're
it.
louder doesn't make you right. Like,
How do you not see that this is so like opposite of racist? What I'm saying, I'm saying that
your argument is because Black people have a month, everybody should have a month.
No, I think that Blacks shouldn't have a month either.
That's the whole argument. I
It's
understood that.
stupid.
And I said, I just want you to explain why. And it all goes back to because white people don't have it.
No,
Because Jewish
it goes
people
back
don't have
because
it.
we should identify
That was your
people's
argument,
we
Casey.
shouldn't identify people's accomplishments by the color of their skin. Is what I'm saying. We should be like the genius inside their brain, not the fuck. Oh look, he did that, and look, he's a Blackie. Hey, yay!
You're the only one I know that uses that term, but then you say
Uses
Black
that
people-
term like I'm just walking around saying,
I
"Hey,
don't
Blackie," just because
but
we have a
to
chicken
even-
named Blackie.
But to even say it is racist.
No, it's not. I'm using it in the term of saying that it's racist to have a Black month. That's why I would say that word talking about that situation.
Okay, so we wouldn't need the month if the education was provided by the educators.
No, who
This
gave
is
you the
how
month?
no, literally a president because we're not taught our history.
Yeah, and Biden also gave you Juneteenth. I didn't even know that was a fucking thing until a national
Why
holiday.
would you? You weren't Black. You wouldn't know the day slavery ended.
And
And why
you know
would
what?
you celebrate the day slavery ended?
And
if
I
white
learned that
person,
has
right?
more. I learned that has more to do with cooking and culture than it does with slaves being freed. So I mean, it's all types of shit that we learn, but we don't need a fucking month dedicated to discussing that topic. It should be discussed all the time if you
But
want to.
it's
learn
not.
about it. If you want to
But
learn
it's
about
not,
it,
though.
because if you don't, you
But
go
it's
out and you
not.
find information, you look for it, or you can take what's shoved down your throat.
Again, or you can look at the facts. Which
Yeah.
is what I'm doing.
That's what I'm
Presenting facts.
Mhm.
But again,
Me too.
that's fine. But if it was like I said in the beginning, what you just agreed with, if it was taught, we wouldn't need a month. Unfortunately, it's not taught.
That's not your two options. Okay, if we don't teach it, we need a month now. Oh, they got us. Let's give them the month, and we'll teach the stuff during that time. We'll give them the shortest.
No,
one,
that's how
February.
you limit a person learning their history for full control. I can argue this all day because I'm black and I understand. And I feel like because you don't understand certain oppressions or you don't understand not being taught things, that the self-consciousness that can have on a person. But then when you find out and you're educated on all the powerful things that black people have done, you start looking at them differently. When we live in literally a system that uses the whole news network to villainize black people, and you're going to sit here and say, it's not the same. No, I can turn on the news and I can watch a 12-year-old get gunned down by the police and he's black, and they're going to start talking about a toy gun in his history. Now, if you say a white 12-year-old got gunned down, they're going to say he was a great student with going to a good school. He had both parents. That could be
I've heard both these arguments on the internet. So where are you going with
again?
this?
But that's why you have to learn the culture. We don't live in a system that's going to teach you it. And since we have a month,
I don't even know the point you're trying to make.
Because you've been so busy trying to combat it.
Learn about the culture.
Again, this is where I've learned is what I'm really starting to think is you listen to me to try to respond rather than listen to what I'm saying.
I try to look at the bigger picture. I try not to be so close-minded and zoom in.
Hey, look, it's Nick. He's fitting it. Is it racist? That's gold. Hey, thank you, Amy. It should be taught. They don't teach kids anything really should be teaching them. And that's true. I think they should teach taxes. But I think when you want to spend you look at the whole history of America, you put two races side by side, and they've proven this with kids. Draw pictures of how you feel about yourself, and you see white kids that feel great about themselves, black kids aren't, and it's because literally how they're trained, what they're taught, what the education system is about. So I want there to be a month where they can at least learn about themselves, because at this point, Black History Month ain't even a big deal anymore, and they hardly teach it, but it should be taught. At the end of the day, I think it's fair they learn their history if the whole year round they're taught everybody else's history. You learn about everything in school, but you don't learn about Black history except for that month. And that's fair to say. You can say it's not, but at the end of the day, all of this plays into a bigger agenda of trying to position and make people look a certain way to society to develop fear and fear-monger. And the only way to break it is to educate. So use that month for education. I can't believe me speaking my personal opinion turned into all this when I let you do it all the time. But
as you see, people,
go ahead, Amy.
As you see,
Ask me.
Casey's speaking his mind too.
Yeah, you do, and I don't ever stop you. But I think it's fair that I should be able to speak mine without being interrupted or cough.
You just talked for a really long time. I didn't say shit.
I know. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Are you going to ask the question, Amy? If not, we're about to end the show. Like, choppy.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay with the message on YouTube and stuff.
Okay. And Amy said that was Morgan Freeman's point that Casey was saying. Do you feel that blacks really feel that other races will really learn enough about Black culture by only learning in 1 month? Do you feel that 1 month is enough? No. Again, like I said before in all of this, I feel it should be taught year-round just like every culture, but that will never happen. So I'll take that 1 month of cramming if you actually teach true history, inventions, things that have been done, things in chemistry, things like that. And there's a lot of things that when you look at the Black culture, they've done a lot for society, but at this time, you look at the Black culture on the news and all you see is gangbangers and thugs. And the majority of white people view it that way. When you hear jokes from white people, it normally is related to gangbanging and thugging. It's nothing to do with education. And then you hear a joke about a white person and they're all proper. There are proper Black people, there are proper white people, but I feel, in my opinion, that it should be taught at some point. And if all we're going to get is a month, then you need to educate it and teach it. Because we've learned now we're not going to get it year round. We have a grown man that didn't even know about Juneteenth. And this has been a big thing for a while. How many other cultures people don't know about that? You know what I mean? Emancipation of slavery.
I literally, and I'm going to call out my stupidness, whatever you want to call it. I don't have the word for it. I'm feeling some sort of way. I did not know about Juneteenth or hear that word ever growing up, classes, Black History Month, ever until Biden made it a holiday in 2022 or something like that, 21, 19.
So I've been taught Juneteenth since a child.
I have, and that's what I'm saying.
That was when it was made a federal holiday.
And I'm not ignorant, and I'm not by any means racist, and I'd like to take in culture and learn new things. That's something that I do not remember ever hearing about until it was made a national holiday.
Which is why you should be teaching the history of Black people all year round like you do others. We know 1776, great. We know that. That is the best part. That is the birth of America, right? There are other national history things that occur. Now, again, when you're not Black, we don't expect you to know that information. Again, when you're Black, you're taught certain things by your family. So you know this information. They did a thing trying to make it a big thing, just like they tried to give fucking gay people a month. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily say, I don't think we need to be off work for it and all
it's
this.
Just when the most racist president in the fucking world comes out and says, I'm going to make this a holiday. It's almost like a smack in the face when he's so anti-Black with all of his policies.
Well, we know that. I mean, he has some video talking about Black people being crackheads.
It's hard to be sacred about a day when a bigot fucking president makes it a holiday. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel. When he came up with it, I was like, out of all the presidents to make this a holiday, why is this like a backhanded smack in the face? That's why.
Which is fine, but or is it you view that, and this is what's crazy, is you view that as a white person, right? Black people didn't view it.
I view everything as a fucking white person.
But I'm saying, so I want you to understand there's a different viewpoint. Your viewpoint on a subject that deals with Black people, not to sound ignorant.
Everybody has a different view because everybody's looking from a different angle, my friend. Black, white, and different. I don't think about that as much as you do.
No, this subject is literally a race conversation. So yes, I'm definitely thinking about it.
Yeah, and I'm talking about the race of the person being racist. Usually, yeah, but you're a white person.
I didn't say that he wasn't racist. I literally just said, yeah, he called Black people crackheads and morons. But at the same point, it may be backhanded to you, to Black people, whether it was pandering a vote or whatever it may have been. It was a big thing to them. So to downplay it and shut it down, that's fine, but it still is what it is.
If somebody gives
you know how many people don't feel that, like when you look at it, all types of society, why do we celebrate this holiday? Martin Luther King birthday. The only time you hear about why do we celebrate a holiday is when it's a Black holiday. Like, I'm starting to really notice that when I look at culture and I look at, anytime I hear complaints, why is this a national holiday, but this is? I understand 4th of July. Honestly, unless you're religious, I don't know why you would even consider wanting to be off work for Easter or Christmas, because those are religious holidays. So, yeah, everything, I have an opinion on it. And I'm fine with if you don't agree with it.
Oh, of course not. No, it's good that we don't agree, because if we agreed on everything, if everybody agreed on everything, we have nothing to talk about. So this is perfect. And I think that
and that's real shit. We all still voted for Trump. Black people support Trump more than they ever supported anybody else. I really feel like, I don't think people realize how many Black people support Trump, because he's not racist and people want to say he is. But at the end of the day, that DEI shit, you can say these civil rights shit, I'm just going to say I feel like he's done more for Black people in this last week than a lot of presidents have, because they were trying to group transgender people into Black categories. Civil rights that were made for Black people and white people, they were trying to give to transgenderism. So I really, if you want to talk about Trump, in my mind, he's done more for Black people in the last 50 years than any other president, because that took you out of a subcategory that now you're competing with other shit.
Now, see, on the flip side, and I don't want to come off to everybody as some like fucking one-sided asshole, and I am very animated with my feelings sometimes. And if on the flip side, if Trump came out and said, you know what, we're going to make Juneteenth a national holiday, we're going to start rating it fucking now, blah, 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 and I'm going to throw off a huge celebration just to kick it off, I would be, fuck yeah. Maybe because I like Trump. And I don't see him as a racist. So it would be completely different for me if it came from a different president. So,
and that's a fair argument.
That's
totally different. So, I mean, I will say it was formally recognized in 2021 and it was drafted by Trump. Barbara Rose Collins pushed it.
Well, and I talked to my buddy Stevie about it, because I didn't know much about it. And he showed me a book. He was like, it has a lot to do with like the culture and cooking and soul food. He was telling me shit, and I was like, dude, that's something I want to fucking celebrate. That sounds like a good fucking time.
First and foremost, for the viewers, obviously Casey isn't racist. He does a show with a Black person. Okay, I will say there's sometimes me and him both say shit that can come off racist. He's still not racist. Just to like, if anybody's trying to clip this or make it sound some type of way. Again, this was a friendly argument. You're not gonna warp or bend character. Great guy.
Thank you, sir.
I'm just saying that because I know people will try to manipulate this, and it's like, it's not that at all. I think it's a friendly argument because in reality, this is the argument that happens on the world platform, right?
And I sometimes say things that some people think to say, but they don't say because they know how it sounds when you say it out loud. I remind myself this on a daily basis as I think of the shit that I do. Okay.
Major General Gordon Granger announced the
Fuck that guy.
the end of slavery with President Abraham Lincoln. But no. Joe Biden did. I don't want to misannounce that. Joe Biden did something. Like, so, I mean, that's fair. And I get where you're, and again, I'm going to say this. I do get where you're coming from. If it was anybody else, I'd maybe respect it more, is basically what you're saying. Because
exactly.
I get it. It's like spitting on your enemy's grave, right? I bashed you.
Dude, how many times I heard Joe Biden drop the N-bomb on old videos and shit?
One of the most racist congressmen. He worked against us so bad. And I think any black person now is educated on that and learned, which is why Trump did this with a breeze. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
Like
they hit
a
a lot of videos when he was in office
of him bashing,
just N-bomb. Not the good N-bomb, the bad N-bomb. That old school white racist people say.
I think he was definitely the definition of old.
Hey, you want to hear something funny? Well, as anybody noticed, I'm wearing my Calvin and Hobbes hoodie that my lovely wife got me, that my mother-in-law hemmed. But
if it was any bigger, it wouldn't happen.
Dude, I love Calvin and Hobbes. I think they're hilarious. They're awesome, and he's very creative. But Calvin and Hobbes, I sometimes think of myself as Calvin, and you're like the Hobbes in the situation. So it's like you're like my buddy Hobbes, but you're like a tiger.
I get you. I get what you're saying. I'm like a tiger.
Yeah.
Hey, no, I appreciate that. I just want y'all to know, at the end of the day, this is my guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't change. I think we both say some things that can be controversial, but I still am going to stand on, I think that black people should have 1 month since they can't normally even get a day, which now they got, so I can't bitch. But I'm Stacey.
I'm Casey.
Y'all have a great night. Fuck racism.